Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, ghouls. This is Burning Metal. And I'm your host, Tom. This evening, we're going to cover the Artisan Cutlery Sea Snake, a Michael Elmer design, a wonderful little fixed blade, everyday carry knife, very functional yet tactical. I guess it is tactile too. It has its own texture, especially on that G10 handle scale. But we're going to pair that with some Bernhiem original Kentucky straight wheat whiskey. 7 years aged, barrel proof, and bottled by yours truly. So, back in October of last year, I went and picked a barrel of Elijah Craig, and it was barrel proof Elijah Craig. Our sister store got to join us and pick their own barrel, so that was really fun. So I booked everybody the experience that they have at Heaven Hill, which I think is you do bourbon experience, they call it, and you get to bottle your own bottle of bourbon from a single barrel, and you had a few choices, and Bernhiem was the most unique choice. Was really wishing and hoping that they had the some of the aged mellow corn, but they did not. So boo-hoo on that note. But with that said, we'll get to that. Let's dive in, take a little closer look at this Artisan Cutlery Sea Snake, a Michael Elmer design. And right off the bat, we get this lovely, striking Wharncliffe that has a really big, oversized finger choil for its size, right? That really fits in and really locks your hand into there. And a Wharncliffe is just such a great, straight razor type design with that very pointy tip. And this is very snaky like. Yeah, I can see why it's called the Sea Snake. So, yeah, you can see the Michael Elmer design here. It is in the AMRP 9 from Artisan Cutlery. That is their proprietary powder metallurgy steel. Has good hardness, good corrosion resistance. Overall, I've had quite a few of these AMRP 9 powder metallurgy steels from them, and have been very happy with the performance. So we have a G10 handle scale, not that intensive texturing on that, but it is full tang. Really nice overall. Lightweight. This is just over 3 ounces, a little over 3 inches on the blade. Of course, that's cut short because of that big finger choil, but for everyday utilitarian tasks, that is absolutely perfect. Great amount of just enough jimping, just enough aggression on that jimping. G10 handle scales are pretty smooth. Guess you can see a little bit of the texturing going on there, but it is not the deepest or grippiest. But I have no problem, and even though I have smallish, mediumish hands, I can still get a full purchase on this, and especially if we're gripping up on that finger choil, whether in the reverse grip or in that front grip. Just a great feel and ergonomics on that. And yeah, big fan of the Artisan Cutlery Sea Snake. It does look like it just wants to lash out and strike you really quick. Michael Elmer, I guess, former military guy, knife designer, and was the designer behind the Sea Snake, and really appreciate this, man. This is one of my favorite everyday carry little fixed blade. Comes with a really nice little Kydex sheath. Of course, some people would carry this as a neck knife. Sometimes I just let this dangle, or I'll reposition that and like tuck it under the belt and take it up here so that it holds nice and tight. little bit of rattle in there. Wish it was tighter in there, but good thumb ramp there to just pull it out of that sheath and get it out ready to go. So, man, Artisan Cutlery, Michael Elmer, you knocked it out of the park with that design. So, cheers. So far, I'm digging the autofocus on this camera. Definitely snappier. Their product highlight focusing seems to be working pretty well. You might have saw the knife wiggle there in the immortal Hulk's hands. But he does well for a knife holder. Keeps it up and high and lets you get a good view of it. So let's take a little nosing, talk a little bit about this Bernhiem original Kentucky wheat whiskey, straight Kentucky wheat whiskey. So if you're not familiar, there's some designations, specifically here in the United States, right? So bourbon has its own criteria. It has to be 51% corn. It can be a combination of other grains after that, pretty much any grain after that, but just must be 51% corn. So in America, if you're a straight rye or you want to be a straight wheat whiskey, you have to be at least 51% wheat, or you have to be at least 51% rye. So this is a straight wheat whiskey. Oh, off the top of my head, I forget what the percentage is on this. I do have it here in some information that would tell us the exact grain, the mash bill of this, but it is, for all intents and purposes, a straight Kentucky wheat whiskey. Wheat whiskeys tend to be a little bit more rich, nutty, got a good full flavor mouthfeel, a little bit softer, not as sharp and harsh around the edges as you would find with a higher rye mash bill or a straight rye mash bill. So, yeah, this is fantastic. It was the most unique whiskey they had offered. You know, you could do an Elijah Craig. I think, what was it? They had an Evan Williams, and then they had the Bernhiem. I was hoping that they had the old corn whiskey, the old mellow corn, to all of those in the elite cult of the corn. You know what I'm talking about. He who walks behind the rose knows. But the Bernhiem is pretty damn good. Really great, deep, rich nose. I get this weird, like, just a weird off waft of bubblegum on it, but it really doesn't translate much past just that initial nosing of it. Really good balance between the oak and the tannic punch of this. Not quite sure if Heaven Hill is using new charred oak barrels with this or used, because technically it's a Kentucky straight wheat whiskey, so it's not bound by law to use a new oak barrel as you would be with bourbon. So not sure. I'll have to do a little more digging on that one. So let's go in and take a taste of this. And yeah, really great whiskey. Was so happy to get this. Really unique. Getting Bernhiem at barrel proof in a single barrel bottling is pretty amazing, even though this doesn't say single barrel may on the side. Let's take a look. We'll get it in there. You can probably see that, but all right. Bernhiem original wheat whiskey uses soft winter wheat as the main grain in its recipe, followed by 7 years of aging in new charred oak barrels. So there we go. We solved that mystery. It is in new charred oak barrels, and this expression of Bernhiem is bottled at barrel proof with barrels selected for the Bottle Your Own tour at Heaven Hill Bourbon Experience. Yeah, so pretty damn fun. Really amazing on the nose and the palate. I'm a huge Heaven Hill fan. Elijah Craig. Last Elijah Craig barrel I picked was an 8-year-old, and Man, it was fantastic. I'm always looking for a different flavor and taste and profile each time I pick one of these barrels, so that's very critical and important to me. So, well, Michael Elmer, Sea Snake. There's a tongue twister. Bernhiem original wheat whiskey. What a great pairing. Hope you guys are all enjoying this. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, comment if you will, so kindly, even if it is critical. But hey, have a nice day. Cheers.